What would actually happen to your body if you completely gave up sugar for just 2 weeks? Not a month, not a year, just 14 days. It sounds simple enough, but the changes that take place inside your body during that short window might genuinely surprise you. Most people assume cutting sugar just means losing a little weight or feeling slightly better, but the reality goes far deeper than that. We are talking about shifts happening at the hormonal level, the cellular level, and even inside your brain. The kind of changes that affect how you think, how you feel, how you look, and how much energy you carry through each day. So if you have ever been curious about what your body is truly capable of, stay with us, because this gets interesting. Now, before we get into what actually happens to your body, it is worth understanding why sugar deserves this much attention in the first place. Most people think of sugar as something they only have occasionally, maybe a dessert here or a soda there. But the reality is that sugar is hiding in almost everything you eat every single day. Bread, sauces, flavored yogurts, breakfast cereals, even foods marketed as healthy are often loaded with it. And here is the part that catches most people completely off guard. Your body is responding to all of that sugar constantly, quietly, and in ways you probably never connect to how you feel. The fatigue, the mood swings, the cravings, the bloating. Sugar is often the invisible thread running through all of it. Here is the first thing that happens when you give up sugar, and it might be the most freeing change of all. Your cravings for sugar actually disappear. This sounds almost too simple, but the science behind it is very real. When you eat sugar, your body releases a hormone that drives your blood sugar down quickly. That sudden drop creates a low blood sugar state, and your brain immediately signals that you need more sugar to bring levels back up. It is a cycle that feeds itself, and most people are trapped inside it every single day without even knowing it. The moment you remove sugar from your diet, that hormonal loop stops being triggered. Within days, the intense pull towards sweet foods begins to fade, and your body starts recalibrating itself in a powerful way. Now, here is something that surprises almost everyone. When you cut out sugar, you actually stop feeling hungry all the time. Think about someone who eats every 2 hours, always reaching for a snack, never feeling truly satisfied. That is not a willpower problem. That is a blood sugar problem. Sugar sends your blood sugar soaring, and then it crashes hard. And that crash is what your brain reads as hunger. So you eat again, and the whole cycle repeats itself throughout the entire day. But when you remove sugar from the equation, your blood sugar finally stabilizes. It stops swinging up and down like a pendulum. And once that happens, your body can actually absorb and use the fuel you are giving it properly. Real, lasting fullness becomes possible for the first time in years for many people. Now, here is where it gets even more interesting. When your body is constantly flooded with sugar, it starts treating that sugar almost like a poison. To protect your cells from being overwhelmed, your body begins blocking insulin from entering them. This is what we call insulin resistance. But here is the problem with that protective response. When insulin gets blocked, it does not just block sugar. It also blocks the delivery of nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that your cells desperately need. So even if you are eating foods with real nutritional value, your body cannot actually absorb them properly. You are essentially starving at the cellular level while still eating. When you remove sugar, something remarkable begins to happen. That resistance slowly starts to reverse. Your cells open back up, insulin works the way it should, and your body can finally begin nourishing itself again from the inside out. Now let's talk about something so many people just accept as part of their day. That heavy, foggy feeling that hits about 20 minutes after lunch. You sit back down at your desk, your eyes get heavy, your focus disappears, and you just assume that's normal. But it isn't. What you're experiencing is your brain reacting to a blood sugar spike, followed by a sharp crash. When sugar floods your system, your brain gets disrupted right along with the rest of your body. It struggles to maintain steady function when fuel levels are swinging up and down so dramatically. But here's what changes when you remove sugar from the equation. That post-meal crash simply stops happening. People who quit sugar consistently report feeling mentally sharp and alert after eating rather than wiped out. Steady energy becomes the new normal. Now here is where things get really interesting, and for most people, completely unexpected. When you cut out sugar, your body begins releasing a surprising amount of stored water. Many people have no idea just how much fluid their body has been holding on to until it finally starts letting go. This happens because sugar causes the body to retain water at a cellular level, and once that sugar is removed, the release begins almost immediately. In fact, some people have reported losing up to 13 pounds of water weight in just a single week of cutting sugar out entirely. 13 pounds in 7 days, not from intense exercise, not from extreme dieting, simply from removing sugar. And alongside that water loss, the body also begins tapping into stored fat as its new fuel source, meaning real fat loss follows closely behind. Now, one of the most telling signs of how much sugar you are consuming is something you can literally see and feel every single day, and that is the size of your midsection. This connection is about as straightforward as it gets. When you reduce sugar, your stomach gets smaller. When you eat more sugar, your stomach gets bigger. It really is that direct. Many people spend years trying to figure out why their belly will not go down no matter what they do. And the answer is often sitting right there on their plate in the form of hidden sugars. Your midsection is essentially giving you real-time feedback about your sugar intake. Once you start paying attention to this signal, the relationship between what you eat and how your body responds becomes impossible to ignore. Now here is where things get really interesting. The fifth benefit of giving up sugar is something the people around you will notice before you even do. When blood sugar is constantly spiking and crashing, your brain is riding that same roller coaster. The result is irritability, brain fog, scattered thinking, and difficulty concentrating. You might even recognize yourself in that description. But when sugar leaves the picture, blood sugar stabilizes, and with that stability comes a genuine shift in how you feel emotionally and mentally. People report feeling calmer, more patient, and noticeably sharper. Tasks that used to feel overwhelming become manageable. Attention difficulties that seemed permanent begin to fade. You become easier to be around, and more importantly, you feel better inside your own head. This is not a coincidence. It is simply your brain finally running on clean, steady fuel. Now let us talk about something that hits close to home for a lot of people, and that is the condition of your skin. When you cut sugar out of your diet, one of the most visible rewards shows up right on your face. Here is what is happening beneath the surface. Sugar triggers a hormonal chain reaction in the body. In females, this reaction causes a rise in androgens, which are male-type hormones that stimulate oil production in the skin and lead directly to acne breakouts. In males, elevated insulin caused by sugar consumption actually suppresses testosterone levels, throwing hormonal balance off entirely. Both scenarios create the kind of skin problems that no topical cream can truly fix from the outside. But when sugar is removed, those hormones begin to rebalance, and the result is clearer, calmer, genuinely glowing skin that reflects what is happening inside. Now, the seventh change involves inflammation, joint stiffness, and physical pain. And here is something important to understand. The first 3 days of cutting sugar can actually feel worse before they feel better. Your body has been running on sugar as its primary fuel source for years, possibly decades. Suddenly removing it causes a real transition period where aches, fatigue, and discomfort can temporarily increase. This is completely normal, and it does not mean something is wrong. It means your body is shifting gears at a fundamental level. The good news is this phase is short and very manageable. Supporting your body with B vitamins, particularly from nutritional yeast, and getting enough potassium can significantly ease this transition. Once you push through those first few days, the inflammation begins to quiet down noticeably. Now let us go even deeper, because what is happening inside your cells during these 2 weeks is genuinely remarkable. Your body is not just adjusting, it is literally constructing brand new enzymes specifically designed to burn fat as fuel instead of sugar. This is a full metabolic rewiring happening at the microscopic level. Think about that for a moment. Your cells are rebuilding their entire energy system from the ground up. And alongside this transformation, something equally powerful is happening inside your arteries. The chronic inflammation that sugar creates in your arterial walls begins to calm down significantly. That inflammation is what leads to dangerous clot formation, plaque buildup along vessel walls, and ultimately increases the risk of strokes and heart attacks. 2 weeks without sugar starts reversing damage that most people did not even know was accumulating silently inside them. Now here is where things get truly fascinating. When your brain switches from running on sugar to running on ketones, something remarkable happens at the neurological level. Your brain actually begins supporting the growth of new nerve cells. This is not a minor upgrade. This is your brain rebuilding and strengthening itself simply because you changed what you are feeding it. The mental clarity people describe during this shift is not just a feeling, it is biology in action. And while your brain is thriving on this new fuel, your liver is quietly doing its own repair work. Fat that has been sitting in your liver for months or even years begins to be burned as energy. This directly starts reversing a fatty liver condition, which is one of the primary reasons belly size grows in the first place. Now let us talk about your kidneys. Most people never think about their kidneys until something goes wrong, but sugar is quietly damaging them every single day. Look at diabetics as a clear example. Years of high blood sugar levels gradually destroy kidney function, forcing many into dialysis or even transplants. The kidneys are essentially being overworked, trying to filter out the excess sugar circulating through the bloodstream constantly. Over time, the tiny filtering vessels inside the kidneys become scarred and weakened. But here is the encouraging part. When you reduce sugar and carbohydrates, kidney stress drops significantly. Studies show measurable improvements in kidney function markers within a relatively short period. So after 2 sugar-free weeks, you are not just looking better or feeling more energetic. You are actively protecting your brain, your liver, your heart, your skin, and your kidneys all at once. So there you have it. From crushing cravings and shrinking your belly, to clearer skin, sharper focus, better moods, healthier kidneys, and a liver that finally gets a break, 2 weeks without sugar can genuinely change the way your body feels and functions from the inside out. The science is there, the stories are real, but the most powerful proof will always be your own experience. So why not try it? Give yourself 2 weeks, cut out the sugar, and pay attention to what shifts. You might be surprised by how quickly your body responds when you simply stop feeding it something it was never designed to handle in the amounts most people consume today. Your body is ready to heal. You just have to give it the chance. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.